Oh, crap. Bruh. My intros lately. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Ty Visuals back with another video. So before you say it, for my real ones that you watch my videos religiously, you already know that I haven't uploaded a video in probably almost 2 weeks. So this is spring week break. Yeah, this is spring week break. You should have a whole week off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge myself, and I'm going to upload out of the 5-day week, or like weekday week, I'm going to upload 5 videos every day. So I'm going to pre-record them, already have them ready for the next day, so you can guys have a video every day since I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks. I think that's fair. Also, as you can already see from the title, basically the video is going to be one or a couple things that I do like about track and a couple things that I don't like about track. So obviously, as you know, I'm a track runner. I like track, I like running, I like working out, all that good stuff. So stay tuned to the video. I don't want the intro to be too long. If you're new, subscribe. If you're old, like, you're not old, comment, do what you gotta do. Let the intro run. See you 10 seconds and peace. Stay tuned. Alright, y'all, so we're gonna get straight into it. You know, we don't like to waste any time. So basically, a few of my favorite things about track and field, and a few things that I do not like about track and field. So pretty much, I'm just gonna explain a little bit about what I run. So basically, I'm a sprinter. If you're a track runner, you already know the sprinting events. Sprinting events are anything that is below, I wanna say, the 300 to 400 meter dash. So pretty much the 40 yard, the 55 yard, the 100 meter, the 200 meter, the 300 meter, and probably the 400 meter are all sprinting events. Sometimes the 400 meters can be considered as a mid-distance, which is basically you're still sprinting, but it's more of a longer like distance. That's why it's called mid-distance. Mid-distance events are like 400s, sometimes 800s, 600s, but I mainly just do critically sprinting. So I do anything from the 50-yard dash all the way up to sometimes the 300. But my two main events are the 55 and the 100. Sometimes I do the 200. So obviously, I am a sprinter. So some of the things that I do really enjoy about track is obviously running. I didn't know I liked to run until freshman year, because prior to that, I did not run. Middle school, I wasn't on a track team, never, none of that. Nope. I played football before I went into high school to play track. I was already like fast. I was the fastest person on my football team, and I had some really fast people on my football team. And I was always the fastest. I always played running back, wide receiver, all those things. And I remember when I was going into 9th grade or 8th grade, going into high school, my coach, he was like, "Oh, you should low-key think about going into track, for your freshman year, because you are very fast." If he hadn't have said that, I most likely would not have done track. And once he said it, the first day of practice freshman year, I didn't join until one of my friends called me, and he was like, "Oh, tryouts is still happening. You want to join the team?" And ever since then, I enjoyed track. I like running. But here's one thing about track that I do not like. So this is kind of like with every other sport, but this is why a lot of people don't like track, because the practices, oh my God, the conditioning, it's crazy. And it doesn't matter if you're a cross-country runner, a distance runner, a sprinter. The conditioning for track compared to any other sport, in my opinion, is ridiculous. The reason why I say that is because let's say if you have a sport like basketball. Yes, every sport you have the condition to build your endurance and speed overall. I'm not going to undermine that. But at the same time with track, literally the whole point of the sport is to constantly run, get faster, build your endurance, build your speed, build your form, technique. You're literally running for the whole 3.5 to 4 hours straight every day for practice. But let's say if you have basketball, you got to worry about not only endurance, but shooting the ball. So you may do shooting techniques, you may do dribbling techniques. So you're not running 24/7. Football's the same way, because I played football for years. Yes, football, we run, but we don't run nowhere near as much as track, because for football, we work so much on plays, catching the ball, throwing the ball, like so many other things. But with track, literally, all we do is run. We run for our endurance. We run to fix our form. We run just for so many things. Like, track is so important because it's not just about speed. A lot of people are like, "Oh, track is easy. If you're fast, you're going to make it to states. You're going to be in the Olympics." That is not true, because there is a lot of fast people who, yes, they are fast, but they have so much potential that are wasted because they don't know actually how to run. You cannot be that fast, but if you have good form and technique, and then from there you just, get stronger, lift weights, you will become a very good runner. And that's for every sport. It starts from your form, technique, and all that stuff. So that is one thing about track that is very difficult that I didn't know prior to doing it, was that the conditioning and practices compared to my second main sport was football is ridiculous, because basically the worst workout for a sprinter, we call it repeat 400s. basically repeat 400s. If you go to an outdoor track, the one lap around the track is 400 meters, or at least it's supposed to be 400 meters. That's the mid-distance race where you do one sprint around the whole entire track. As sprinters, to build our conditioning, we're supposed to run events one step higher. So if you're a 200 runner, you want to, practice 400s, because the harder you work out, the easier that race will be when it comes to your meet. It doesn't matter if you were 1 runner, 2 runner, 3 runner, 4 runner, you're going to be running the same or doing the same practices as everybody else as a sprinter. So the worst conditioning practices we had is repeat 400s, where basically if it's called a repeat, doesn't matter what event it is, what length it is, you only have about 30 seconds to a minute break, which means that you have to pace yourself. And you always think, okay, 1 lap around the track and do that 10 times, that's nothing. Wait till you actually do it. And you can't just do light jogs, because that's not what sprinters do. That's what distance do. We actually have to run at a certain time each time. So let's say if we do 10 repeat 400s, after we do 5, coach will probably give us like a 5-minute break versus 30 seconds. And then we go right back into another 5, but only within 30 seconds to a minute break. Those were literally hell, I kid you not. But at the end of the day, once practice was over, of course, all of us were dead. But once you see how the progress and how it made you better, you can't really complain, because we're doing it for a reason, not just for fun. We're doing it because it's going to help us. But the conditioning in track is so painful. So if you are thinking about running track, just make sure to get prepared. Drink a lot of water. Like, please drink a lot of water. Throughout the school day, if you do not drink water and you nutrition yourself, trust me, I know from experience, a lot of us know from experience, if you're not drinking enough water, eat right, it's going to show. It's going to show. Coaches can already tell if you drunk water, ate well that day, because it's just practice itself. One thing I do like about track when it comes to our practices is that like the chill days are so for sprinters. And like I said, I'm only talking about sprinters because I'm not a distance runner, so I don't know what they do. But for sprinters, chill days for us are sometimes days before meets. What we'll do is we'll jog a little bit. We'll run like maybe a jog 1 mile, jog 2 miles. And then what we would do the whole day is we will stretch the whole day, make sure we work on technique, make sure we work on blocks. Blocks is basically those things you see before the sprinters like run out of their start. Those little like metal pads that you see in the Olympics where the runners put their feet in, those are called blocks or starters. And we work on that technique, making sure our drive phase is strong. Like I said, those days are just chill days. And even sometimes before meets, or not the day before meets, just other days. Let's say if we did 400 repeats the previous day, then the next day we're not going to have as a hard day. We might just do like some jogging, some technique work, because track is way more complicated than what a lot of people say. And like I said, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, track is easy. You just run. And if you're fast, you're good. No, that's not how it works. Now, yes, if you're genetically fast and it runs in your family, yes, you're going to be fast, but you still need to learn how to run. You can't just go out there and you're going to become the number one, star out there. You actually have to know how to run, use blocks, technique, drive, all of that stuff. It's all a process. Now, mainly track runners will know this, but basically, when you're in your sprinting events, anything below the 400, you have it's called staggering lanes. So pretty much, staggering lanes, if you look at the Olympics, you'll have the highest lane. So lane 8, and then lane 7 is behind them, and then lane 6 if they're on the curve. The reason for that is because let's say if everyone before the curve starts at the same point, then if they run that curve, the person who is in the inside lane obviously is going to go ahead. They have an advantage. Even if they're not the fastest person, they're going to have the advantage because the inside lane is the fastest lane. So that's what that stagger is for, so that everyone can have a fair chance. Now, lane 3 and lane 4 are usually the 2 lanes that are the fastest people in that heat. That does not mean they're the fastest people in the meet. That just means in that heat, they are the fastest. And they put them in the middle so that they can kind of push the people that are in lane 1, 2, or 6, 7, 8 so that they can run faster as well. A lot of people don't know that, but when you actually run track, those are things you know. Another thing I do like about track, and like I said, a lot of these points can apply for any sport because sports in general is going to put you in shape. But one thing I will tell you is a lot of football players and basketball players have joined our track team like on the off season when basketball, football isn't in session, because track really helps you with just your overall body staying healthy and your conditioning. Track helps you with conditioning so much. So like I said, conditioning is basically the sprint practices or in building your endurance or the repeat 400s I was talking about. And like I said, it doesn't have to be repeat 4s. It can be repeat 100s. It can be repeat 200s. My favorites are repeat 2 and 100s. but it's all conditioning. Make sure you stay in shape, make sure you're always running, staying healthy, keeping that body weight stabilized, or staying more healthy to where your body weight can go down depending on how you want to look. Because like I said, there's a lot of football players that sometimes comes over to track because they want to, you know, stay conditioned, and that's just a good way. And sometimes they don't have to compete. They just want to go to the practices to stay in shape. And that's literally what track does. Track is, in my opinion, the best sport to help you stay in shape consistently. Because track, you burn every day at practice. You doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to be burning a lot of calories. It's going to hurt, but I'm telling you, over the weeks, over the months, it's going to feel so much better. Because freshman year, my conditioning was terrible, my muscle mass was terrible, everything was bad. But once you get used to it, you actually care for yourself, drink water, eat right, stretch, recover. Also recovery, I'm gonna do a recovery video soon sometime this week. But all of that is very important when it comes to becoming a runner. And not even if you want to do track professionally, just doing track in general is just, it's always a good skill to have, to know how to run and how to basically challenge your speed and when to run fast and when to, just having good endurance overall. Even if you want to be a distance runner, all of it is perfect to have. Running is a great skill because a lot of people, yes, they're fast, they run, but they don't actually know how to run. And it's always a good skill to have whenever, for emergencies, and it's always just something great to have. There's nothing wrong with learning how to run. A lot of people hate it because of the conditioning aspect. Yes, I know it sucks, but I'm telling you, the things that usually suck are the things that will help you. So that's one thing I want to motivate you guys to do, is you don't have to do track, but at least work out, stay athletic, stay, you know, exercise, especially during times now, drink a lot of water. Just make sure you keep yourself healthy, and it's very important. And yeah, so just to conclude, those are my few things that I do like about track and I don't like about track. And I have so many other stories I can tell. I might do a story time, but actually that's probably a good idea, because I actually might do a story time of one of my incidents in track in that state. But yeah, I'm gonna conclude the video. If you're new, subscribe. If you're old, like, the old, comment what you guys do. Let me know if you want to see a part 2 of this, because I have so many more stories. Comment what you liked, what you didn't like. If you're a track runner, what you run. Stay tuned to the next video, and peace out.